Hello there. It's been a while since I made a video. Almost 2 months now. I didn't plan on it, but I've just been really fucking busy and been working a lot and recently moved into a new apartment, so been trying to get all my shit together, all my stuff unpacked and everything I need. And I've gotten maybe 3, 4 knives since I've last made a video, so I got a couple new blades to show and other knives that I've had for a while that I need to do reviews on. And maybe since February, March, I can't remember, maybe January this year, I've really wanted this knife, this fixed blade from Cold Steel, and on a few of the websites that I've looked at it, that it was on, it said pre-order. Like you could pay for the knife, or you could set it up for it to be shipped, but it said pre-order, and it didn't say when it was dropping. It didn't say a date or something like that. And I've been waiting for so fucking long. I couldn't even remember how long it's been. That's how long I've been waiting for this knife. And at one point, I was checking almost every fucking day to see, oh shit, is it available? Does it say, add to cart? And I just got tired of checking every single day to be disappointed, so I kind of just gave up and stopped, checking on it. And then recently, the last like month or two, I started looking at it more, looking it up every day to see if it's available or not. And then last week, I think it was Wednesday or Tuesday, it dropped and it said add to cart. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And I had the money, but because I moved into a new place, I should be saving my money, shit, and this and that. And I didn't want to just drop. It was $211. I didn't exactly want to spend the money at that time, but I was like, you know what? I've been waiting so fucking long for this goddamn knife. I was like, I'm buying it. Here it is right here. Some of you might already recognize it. I was like, fuck that shit. I've been waiting so long, I can kind of barely fit it in frame. You're trying to raise my shit up a bit. Don't want my camera to fucking tip over. I was like, I've been waiting so long for this goddamn knife. I better buy this shit right away, because I'm assuming there's other people out there that are waiting for this, and it's probably going to be out of stock, unavailable after it drops. And I was right. I didn't buy it as soon as it came out. Like I said, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I bought it on Thursday, on November 3rd, and then it shipped here on November 10th. So it took like a whole fucking week to get here. And with taxes and all that shit, I paid like $230. And I was like, no, I need to buy this shit right away. I've been waiting so long for it. And after I bought it, I think it was a day or two, I went to look it up again, and it said out of stock. It was unavailable. So there was a few people waiting for this goddamn knife to drop, and everybody just bought it up. It is a Cold Steel. I already kind of scratched it up a bit using it. I used her. It's a Cold Steel Natchez Bowie. You can see it right there. And this is a oh shit. This is an old ass fucking knife. Like, they've had this knife, I think like 2006 or 2007 maybe. They originally came out, the first steel, I think it was like '01 or some shit, or SK5. I don't think they've had this in AUS 8, but all the steels that this has been in that I know of is like SK5, '01, VG1, San Mai, or some shit like that. And this knife has been expensive, like from, the day it dropped. Like the early versions were expensive too, but like this version, it is in, I've never even heard of this steel until I looked at this knife. It's called 4034, and then the SS, I don't know what the fuck the SS means. I guess it's just stainless, because of the finish, stainless steel. I don't know, but yeah, it's 4034. I think I looked it up, and it said it was like a really budget steel. I think it's like in the like 440s or something, maybe less than like 1080, 1095. So I wasn't too happy about the steel that they dropped this in, but they had this version like that when it said pre-order on the. I bought it from Knife Center, and it said pre-order for like since the beginning of the fucking year, and it showed a 3V version. And I'm not really familiar with 3V, but I know Spyderco and shit has used it, and it's a nice steel. And I've even heard that 52-100 steel is like a budget 3V or something like that. So it's a pretty good steel, but the 3V version of this, the Natchez Bowie, it had a ridiculous fucking price on it. And this knife is already expensive, but it said it was like 530, 540, or it was well over $500. And I was going to consider buying that shit because both of these said pre-order, but that one, it was available. It dropped maybe like 2 months ago. So that one said add to cart, you could buy it, but this one still said pre-order. And I didn't, for like $500 fucking dollars, some people might fucking say it's worth that much, but if you're asking me, if I'm going to spend $550, I'd rather just buy a Glock or some shit, or a nice pistol or a cheap ass rifle. So I really didn't want to spend $500 fucking dollars on this knife. So as soon as I saw that 211, $200 price tag on this one, even though it was not a steel that I really wanted, I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to buy that knife whenever it drops. And it finally dropped, and I was just like, holy shit, this is what I've been waiting for. So I didn't really want to spend the money at the time, but I just bought it anyway. So yeah, I was really happy. If you're one of those people out there that bought this shit before, was out of stock, then congratulations. I'm sure there was a fuck ton of people out there that were waiting for it to drop too. And this knife, like, I wanted it so bad. I usually don't buy used knives and shit, but I wanted it so bad. I even looked it up online, like a used version or something, went on eBay and shit. I haven't bought shit from eBay in like 10 years or something. I don't know, it's been so fucking long, but yeah. I just looked it up on eBay, Natchez Bowie, and the only thing I could find was just I think it was just a sheath. That's all someone was selling on there with the Natchez Bowie, so I was like, yeah, I'm fucked trying to buy a used version of this, so I was like, I really need to buy it when it drops. The newer, 40-34 steel version. But, I mean, I would have took any steeled version of this, the SK5-01, the old, version, VG1. I don't care. That's how bad I wanted it. And I didn't think I was going to be able to buy it at all. I didn't think it was going to drop, at a time I was available to buy it and shit when I had the money. So Cold Steel has a lot of fixed blades and shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy something similar to it. And I didn't really want this knife because of the blade kind of, not the blade shape, but like the guard that it comes with. Because I like this kind of, just flat. Not even rounded. If it was squared off, like on the edges, I wouldn't care too. But I like how it's like flat, symmetrical kind of guard. And I bought this knife because I didn't think I was going to be able to buy the Natchez Bowie. And this knife is fucking awesome. I like the fuller, how it has a deep ass fuller groove on the blade, and it has like blued. It has a blued steel, kind of like a fucking revolver, like my Ruger Speed 6. And the handle's not that bad. It has some wood scales on the handle and shit, but just that. I like it a little bit, but I'd rather have a guard like that. Like before I discovered this knife, I just barely discovered this knife like the beginning of this fucking year. I didn't even know it existed. That's when I ever wanted it really badly. And before this, I thought the Condor, I think it's called a Condor Undertaker Bowie. I thought that Bowie knife was just the sexiest Bowie I've ever seen. And that's why I wanted this one, because it had a guard kind of similar to it and just a thick ass, long ass Bowie blade. But I mean, even the Undertaker's like 9.5, maybe 10 inches or something. I'm not sure, but it's shorter than both of these. And this one is, let me see. It's slightly longer, but they're almost like the same size. if I lined them up at the hilt where the blade starts, you probably can't see on the camera, but this one, let me just fucking put them on top of each other. Yeah, it's longer by that much, like maybe an inch or a fraction of an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's just a little bit longer, but I got this knife just because I thought I wasn't gonna be able to get this one, but I'm not too crazy about the S guard. I know it protects your hand more. You know, you can maybe like fucking trap someone's blade or some shit, but if you're in a knife fight, but I'm gonna be carrying the knife around and using it more than I'm gonna be getting into knife fights and shit like that. So I wasn't too crazy about that, and I didn't really want it, but I didn't think I was gonna be able to get this one. But as soon as I got this one, I got it like right at the end of October. I think it was like October 20th or some shit. That's when I got this, and I was like, okay, that's pretty nice. I like it. I like the blade length and the blade style and all that shit in the handle is pretty comfortable, but I'm not crazy about that. And then as soon as I got this, a couple weeks later, 2 weeks later, that's when this dropped, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I just bought a fucking big ass cold steel fixed blade, so I shouldn't be buying another one, but I feel like I owed it to myself. I was waiting so goddamn long, like 9 months, 10 months. I've been waiting so long I couldn't even remember. So yeah, now I got 2 big ass Bowie knives, so fuck it. 2 Bowies is better than 1. And the sheath that it comes in, it's an alright sheath, but it just kind of looks a little too, I don't know, like, makes me feel like I'm going into battle in the fucking Civil War or some shit. It has this thing that keeps you from stabbing the knife through the sheath in case you accidentally fall with the knife, or, you know, you fall off a fucking horse or some shit like that, yeah. And because this is a fixed blade, I usually do comparisons with, you know, other folders and shit, but I'll show a couple of my fixed blades, and pretty much all the fixed blades I have are cold steel. This is an old ass knife that I have. I've had it for like over 5 years. I need to do a review on this knife pretty soon. It is a full-size K-bar fighting knife. And yeah, it's been beat to shit, literally. I got kind of a little story I gotta tell on my review, if I make a review about this. I should be pretty soon. The sheath is even all fucking dusty and shit. I haven't used it in a while. This is a knife I got a while ago, but it's still new because, you know, I haven't showed it on my channel and I haven't really used it. But I was going to show it on one of my blade comparisons, but I just forgot to. This is an awesome fucking knife. And I've never seen it in this version. I've never seen a blacked out coated blade with an OD green handle. If you know me, you've watched all my videos, then you know I fucking love OD green. And I think it's just on Knife Center, I'm not sure, but Knife Center, they got a bunch of cold steel in stock, and they had like oh shit, yeah, I can show that too. They have, what is it, the SRK, yeah, I think it's the SRK, the big ass fixed karambit, the Steel Tiger. They have the Steel Tiger, the SRK, the Kobun. It says, it's spelled Kobun, but I've watched videos and people pronounce it Kobun, so I just call it the Kobun. But they've made a bunch of cold steel fixed blades and even some folders in OD green. So I was like, fuck, I have a lot of fucking cold steels. I don't really want to be, I don't want to buy more cold steels when I can buy some other knives that I really wanted, but I'm just a fucking sucker for OD green, so I'm probably going to buy the Steel Tiger, the Karambit in OD green. It's like a black coated blade with just like that OD green. Let me show that right now on my SRK. I was supposed to put this back in my truck, but I forgot to, so it's kind of good that now I could show it. When I saw this, I was like, holy fuck. I've never had the SRK, and it looks like a nice, thick ass, strong, survival knife, fighting knife, whatever. You can use it for both, but it just was in all black, so I was like, I never really got around to buying it, and then I saw this version, and they have it's called a Recon Tanto. It looks just like this with the handle, but it's a little bit longer, maybe like an inch longer, and it kind of has an upswept, curve to it. And then they dropped it with OD green, so I was like, fuck, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to buy that one or this one, and it was a pretty good price. It was like, I think it was even cheaper than the original all blacked out one. It was like $44 on Knife Center. So if you like cold steel fixed blades and you like OD green, I would go check them out on Knife Center. I think they're still available. So yeah, there's that. This blade is bigger than all my fixed blades I'm showing, besides the cold. It's called the Cold Steel 1917 Frontier. That one, that's the one that's bigger. It's slightly bigger than that one. Here's another Cold Steel. This one ain't new at all. You can see it's been used and beat to shit. It's called the Drop Forge Survivalist, and it has the same steel, 52100. That's what I was talking about earlier, saying people compare it as like a budget 3V or some shit. So I've kind of wanted to get my hands on 3V just to compare it to this. And I even hit a fucking nail right there. You can see, probably see that. I chipped the blade a little bit, or it kind of rolled, but I fucking hacked at this pallet really hard, and it slipped in between the wood and hit a fucking nail. I wasn't trying to, but I was like, oh shit. And it was even more fucked up than that, but I just put it on a little diamond sharpener, and it sharpened it out pretty easily. So, and it's really tough. I would have thought it would have fucked up the edge more than that. So yeah, this is very similar to my the little Drop Forge boot knife. It has the same steel, just a different coating. So yeah, this is like an 8-inch. I think it's an 8-inch blade. Yeah, and this is like just under a foot long, like the actual blade length. It's like 11 3/4, 11.7 something. And this knife is really fucking weird. You can see there's like the bare metal color right there, and then it has a black coating, and then it has that kind of light goldish nickel fucking looking coating. So it has like, it's like double coated. I think it's because the steel rusts very easily. You can even see on part of it right there how it kind of rusted a little bit. Yeah, and I just wrapped it with some paracord. I really like purple. I know the purple with the light color probably doesn't match. It probably looks fucking stupid, but I might do an OD green paracord wrap on here. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I really wanted to do a review on one of my other knives that needed a review, but I was just so goddamn excited about this. I had to make a video on it, do like a first impressions on it, and it's so fucking thick. It's stupid thick. Trying to think of another knife that's this thickness. I think it's even thicker than the Frontier Bowie. Yeah, it is. Let me try to hold them up. Yeah, you can see it's clearly thicker. Oh shit. So yeah, and the swedge right there, it has that little clip, and you can see how it has like full thickness all the way it gets up until that swedge, and then it kind of has the distal taper, I think you call that, and it's very fucking sharp. Like it, both sides, the way they ground it, it's like meant for you to sharpen it, but it's not sharp like the edges. And the edge came pretty sharp, but not like razor hair popping sharp. So I kind of touched it up just a little bit, but you can see it almost looks like it's sharpened like the actual edge of the knife, but no. If you ran your finger along it and pushed, with a lot of force, then you could probably cut yourself. But I got my little ceramic sharpening little rod and kind of ran it across there just to touch it up a little bit and make it a little more sharp. So now it probably actually could cut you open. And if you did a back cut, If you swung it at somebody and did a back cut, then yeah, it would probably fucking tear you open. It would cut through flesh if you used a lot of force on it. So, but if this is, it is, you could use it like a camp knife, survival knife, but the tang, I think it comes back to right here. And then they have something called a cable tang. If you don't know what that is, then look it up. Just look up Natchez Bowie on YouTube, and they'll explain that if someone has it like cut open or some shit. But yeah, because it has a cable tang, it's not a complete full tang. I wouldn't want to use it as a survival knife, but you can see how goddamn thick it is, so it could take a beating. But this is pretty much a dedicated fighting knife. So I would just go ahead and sharpen up that swedge if I was you, if you just got this. And yeah, I'm gonna plan on doing that. So that's my Cold Steel Natchez Bowie first impressions. Later.